How you do, buckaroos? I almost started singing a song, and then I remembered that every time I do that, YouTube slaps me on the wrist. So it's hard because it enters my mind, and then I want to sing it. And anyways, so I got some Bush 10. I've had this bottle for a couple years now. I'm nearing the end. I think it's just about time to polish her off. I'm going to kind of rough guess a couple ounce pour in here. And the reason I wanted to have this Bush 10 tonight is because my wife had found this beautiful Bushmills glass. It's more of a rocks glass, which is why I served her on the rocks. Typically, a good single malt like this, you want to drink neat. I understand. Please don't harangue me for drinking it on the rocks. But this is a rocks glass after all. It's a great glass too. I like the kind of bulb shape it has. I've got something similar, but doesn't quite like it. It's got a beautiful shape to her, anyways. I first found this whiskey in about '97, I think, when we first moved to Las Cruces, New Mexico. We didn't have it in my neck of the woods at the time, and I found it at a store out there for about 35 bucks a bottle. You know what it goes for in my store today? About 40 bucks a bottle. So it hasn't gone up a whole lot. There was another single malt whiskey that I used to be able to buy for about 20 bucks a bottle, and now it goes for the same price as this, and it's the Turconnell. Turconnell used to say it's 10 years old, but it doesn't even mention an age anymore. So for a 10-year-old single malt, this really is a great value. Now, I've heard some folks refer to this as a beginner's malt, and I used to take offense to that. Now, I don't anymore, and I'll tell you why. Why? Why? Tell my wife is. She's humoring me, that pain in my ass. Anyways, yeah, no. Here's why. Because I think the reason some refer to it as a beginner malt is that because it is very approachable. It's very likable. There's nothing off about it. It's just done right. It may not be the most distinct single malt whiskey or Irish whiskey out there, but it is just darn likable. There is just nothing wrong with it whatsoever. On the nose is mostly oak, a whole lot of oak. A little bit of crisp apple, I'm thinking. I'm a little stuffy, as you can tell. Oh, man, the weather's killing me. Let's take a drink, see if I can get more later. Talking about waterfall background. I've been playing around with different stuff. So I learned how to do something the other day using my, Windows Movie Maker. So I strung a bunch of pictures together of my son Seamus. We lost him to leukemia uh, back in 2013, and it's been rough ever since. But it's kind of a therapy project. So I put all those pictures together. But now want to do some pictures of just beer where I can start running that as a background, and I'll do some pictures of just whiskey. I can run that as background, but that's going to take some time. It took me a long time to do that other project. I'm kind of slow. Yeah, again, I'm still getting a lot of that oak. I'm getting some crisp apple, as I mentioned earlier. There are hints of vanilla, very light hints. Just the flavor of this whiskey is so nice. Yeah, again, it may not be the most distinct, single malt whiskey you've ever had, but it's just darn likable. And again, let's look at price points. This runs under 40 bucks a bottle. And look at 10-year-old single malt whiskeys for under 40 bucks a bottle. There certainly ain't a whole hell of a lot out there. Especially those that are as approachable as this. It also has the character that this whiskey has. I just like it. Now, I always find it interesting. I ran into a guy a while back, kind of a friend of a friend. This has been a few months ago now, but we're talking about whiskeys, and he says, "Well, you like Scotch. He likes to drink Macallan." I said, "Oh, you like the Mac 12? The Mac 12 is a nice whiskey." He says, "Well, no, I like the Mac 18." Well, fuck, everybody likes the Mac 18. It's a very expensive fucking whiskey. Now, it's that pretentiousness that kind of bugs me. Why couldn't you just say, yeah, the Mac 12 is a fine whiskey? But he wanted to make himself feel special, so he said, I had to say, oh, and no, I drink the 18, man. I guess that's why I'm a bourbon drinker. I don't know. Yeah, I grew up a bourbon drinker. I became an Irish whiskey drinker. Now I've kind of back to bourbon. But yeah, you know what? A good whiskey, I guess my point why I told that story was a good whiskey doesn't have to be crazy expensive. Listen, I love the Bushmill 16. It runs about 70 a bottle in my neck of woods. I think it's a great whiskey. But the Bush 10 is a very enjoyable, likable whiskey, and it's not going to kill your bank account. Excuse me. I've got a ongoing series I'm doing on my website, Tom the Beer Whisperer .com, about likable whiskeys for under $30. And there's a couple that really just lit me on fire throughout the year. And one in particular was the Baines South African whiskey. It was made with 100% South African maize, and that whiskey was just freaking beautiful. Now it uses maize and it's aged in bourbon barrels, so I actually expected it to taste like a bourbon, but it didn't. It actually had slight elements of bourbon. It had elements of Scotch. It had elements of Irish whiskey. It was very smooth. There were some distinct notes. I mean, there were some bold notes. It just kind of embodied everything. I mean, and it was. I bought it at a Sam's Club here in town for $25 a bottle. I mean, that was the best $25 whiskey I'd ever bought in my lifetime. I just think it's amazing. If you guys ever see that Baines whiskey, it's a keeper, man. It's a keeper. It's a keeper. If they ever age some to 8, 10, 12 years, I really want to pick that some bitch up. I tell you that, because I think this said it was a 4-year-old whiskey. Some bitch, an 8-year-old version. Oh my god, that's gonna make you cream your pants. I'm guessing. So back to the bush. You know what? I've had Bush. I've had regular Bush. I've had Black Bush. I've had the Bush 10. I've had the Bush 16. I've had the Bush 21. I've had a bottle of Bush 21 for 2 years now. I just bring it out every once in a while on special occasions. It's not a whiskey you drink a lot of. This one is nice though, because again, it's under 40 a bottle. It just tastes good. I like the whiskey ball thing. I really do. A man of limited interest and simple pleasures. My wife bought me this thing. I don't know, it didn't cost very much. It was but it's the thought that counts. It's it had 2 ice cube trays. It had a mold for 6 of the big square cubes that most whiskey bars use. It had a mold to make 2 globes at a time. I was so excited when I opened that. Again, it doesn't take much to make me happy, and maybe that's the key to life, right? Just be fucking happy with what you got. Sometimes it's just an ice cube tray that makes the damn day, right? So, in conclusion, the Bush 10, to get that up there where you can see it. Well, not really. All you can see is the 1608. But anyways, you get the idea. Hey, I love this glass. I dig that glass. It's a Bushmills glass. I got the Bush 10. It is shortly after the new year. We had a rough start, my wife and I. Not her and I particularly, but even just the way the new year started with everything else. Uh, so anyway, I lost where I was going. Anyways, hey, I want to thank everybody that stuck with the Beer Whisperer through everything. This is great whiskey. If you ever get a chance to try it, you need to. I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. We'll talk to you later.